All right, so we'd like to welcome 14-0 with one draw. Not a prospect anymore, Ray. Contender, 24-year-old from Camden, New Jersey, Ray Ford. Ray, welcome to the Final Bell.
Thank you. Appreciate you for having me.
How you doing, man? Tell us a little bit about how your training is going for your fight against Otabek Kholmatov.
Training is going great. I just got to Houston about a week ago to,
Yeah.
really start the second half of my camp and, really lock in. So it's going great so far. Yeah, I ain't got no complaints.
Yeah. I read that you enjoy training outside of like your hometown, right? It just helps you focus better.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I definitely able to lock in a whole lot more. I don't got to worry about no distractions. It's just straight work.
Yeah. How do you feel about fighting for your first world title with just 15 pro bouts? I feel like that's happening a lot more, but how do you feel about that?
Yeah,
Like, is this something you've been waiting for and felt ready for last year?
yeah, for sure. I felt like I definitely was ready for it last year. Uh, I feel like we should have fought for the belt last year, but
Yeah.
we had to wait because business things, side of things like that. So I feel like now it just gave me a little more time to sharpen up my tools. I'm 100% ready.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you work with Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis, right?
Yeah.
How is it working with those guys? I know Shakur just mentioned recently that he was retiring. I don't know how is that a fact or not, but yeah.
uh, yeah, it's great working with these guys. They sharp. They keep me on my A game. I definitely can learn things, pick up things from being in the ring with them and watching them spar and stuff like that. These are people that I grew up with in the amateur, so um, yeah, it's good being around them.
What do you think about his announcement yesterday about retiring? You think that's him just being upset, or he's really sticking to this?
Shakur is not Shakur not retired for boxing. He was at the gym when he posted that. So nah, I think he just a little frustrated that these fighters in these fights that he got hope for happening and he thinking this is gonna happen and then it don't happen. He getting himself hyped up and the fans is hyping it up and everything like that. He just real passionate about this sport. So when things is not going the way how he expected to go, he get a little frustrated. But that's when anything and anybody.
Yeah, he's too young and talented to retire this early. I kind of felt like that was more frustration speaking than anything else.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, and Ray, and so are you. You're too young and talented to be retiring anytime soon, man.
Yeah,
One of the things that I was thinking about as we were looking at this fight is it's rare these days to see two young undefeated guys meeting for a vacant title so early in their careers. I can think back, like Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins fought once for a middleweight title that was vacant way
yeah.
back. It doesn't happen that often. Um, what do you know about Otabek Kholmatov? I'm sure you were probably targeting someone like Lee Wood before, right? And now you're looking at a young Uzbeki fighter. What are your thoughts on him? What do you know about him?
Nah, I always knew it was gonna be me and him. Like
Oh, you
behind the
did?
scenes,
Yeah.
yeah, I knew Lee Wood was going to vacate. I knew, I knew it was always gonna be me and him fighting for the belt. So I've been had my eyes locked in on him. I've been watching him. I've been preparing for him since like June, July. But what I know about him, he an overseas fighter, strong,
Yeah.
got a good boxing, I guess style, whatever. That's pretty much that's it.
Yeah, the Eastern European fighters always seem to just come with a lot of physical strength, sometimes a lot of volume. They're pretty much pressure fighters, but you've been preparing for him. It sounds like for many months. Well, in your opinion, what's the key to victory? Without giving away your game plan, of course, but what do you think is going to be the key difference between the two of you?
Just be myself. That's it. That's all for real. For real. I don't really gotta go in here and try to do too much and be something I'm not. Just go in and be myself and just take it round by round.
Yeah, Yeah.
Do you think your boxing ability is going to be maybe a little bit too much for Otabek, who's just used to knocking his opponents out?
I mean, we shall see, because we never really seen Otabek get in there and fight somebody who is talented as me, who is durable like me. We just, from what I see in his videos and things like that, he's just fighting guys who come in there to lay down, or they scared of him, or they can't take what they dishing out. You feel me? So I think him going in there with me is it's a total different thing. So we're just gonna have to wait and see when we get in there.
Well,
Ray, I feel like you're
okay. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ray, I feel like you're the kind of fighter that, again, despite having just 15 pro bouts, you seem to have been fighting around the world, and part of that is signing with a promotional company like Matchroom. You fought at the Alamo Dome. You fought at MSG twice. You fought twice in England, including in Eddie Hearn's backyard at Matchroom headquarters. What were those experiences like? And how does that prepare you for a fight like this, where, yeah, it's your first title fight, but you've been at big shows before? How does that impact you?
I think it's definitely great that I did experience a lot of these things, because a lot of the stuff with this boxing stuff is like a lot of pressure, a lot of mental pressure. So me being up under these lights and fighting in these different places and on these big platforms it's definitely gonna help me out in this big moment. Being so that I've been here and been doing it for my whole career. So
yeah, I see it a lot of your opponents. I see your evolution in the game. From your opponent's list, and the last two opponents, Jesse Magdalena was 29-1 at the time, and Sakara Lucas was 25-1. Was that the reason why you thought that you were ready for a world title, facing guys with those kind of records?
100%. Like, especially beating Jesse Magdalena, who was the former world champion, it just put the icing on the cake. Like, all right, he was a former world champion. I know I can be a world champion, because if I make it look this easy fighting against somebody like Jesse Magdalena, who is a good fighter, he's definitely talented. He's smart in the ring, got a good IQ, fast, got a little bit of pop. So, me fighting Jesse Magdalena like really just put the icing on the cake. Like, all right, I know I belong here.
Would you say that was your toughest fight, or was there a different one? I know you've had a couple of really good opponents. This is your fourth undefeated fighter that you're facing in your career. Who would you say was your toughest opponent to date?
I don't really like say who my toughest opponent is. I really just believe like it was like really me, as far as like making fights harder than what they supposed to be. But I feel like all the like fighters that I've been fighting lately was good fighters. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really say, because me at my 100% on every fight, I would probably be dominating on every night. So I really can't say.
Yeah. As far as weight goes, Ray, how do you feel at this weight? I know there was talk, or you were considering in the past potentially moving up. Is that something you'd like to do a few fights further down?
Yeah, I'm definitely still like thinking about moving up, but it all depends. I gotta wait and see how things go after this fight. If it's like another big fight for me at 126, that's gonna bring a lot of money, or I can unify or something like that, I'll definitely stay. But I'm definitely looking forward to going up to 130 and challenging those champions up there as well. So we just gotta wait and see.
Right. So you're saying that you might stay for just this one fight, depending on how you feel after this?
Depending on how I feel and what's like presented to me. So like I'm gonna go with the best option, the fights that's bringing the most money, and if it just gotta make sense.
Yeah, certainly 130 has a lot of great fighters on both sides of the pond, right? Like whether you're looking at Lee Wood, Josh Warrington, Joe Cordina, or here you got Emmanuel Navarrete, who I think is going to be moving up, but many others.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's good fights. Like, luckily for me, like I'm in a position where like I can do different things. Like I can, like, we got Joe Cordina over here on this side. There's other fights like Josh Warrington that'll be big in the UK. Like it's a lot of different fights that that could be like good money fights for me that I would definitely be looking forward to taking. So we just gotta wait and see, like I said.
Yeah. Now, Ray, taking a little bit of a step back and into your background, I know you're from Camden, which is very close to Philly. How old were you when you got into boxing? And is it the proximity to Philly where maybe, I know that it's such a celebrated fight town, or how did you get into boxing?
I got into boxing when I was around 8 or 9. It was this kid from my neighborhood. He was about 15 or something at the time. Basically, like, he seen me fight, and he basically like took me under his wing, and he had like a punching bag in his basement and stuff. I used to hit the punching bag. He put the mitts on for me, and I would go like running with him and stuff like that. And like I would always ask my mom to put me in boxing and stuff because I used to fight all the time, like back at home and in school and stuff like that. So she never really wanted to put me into it, but like probably like a year later, she eventually put me in the boxing.
Yeah.
Any fighters that you had admired on the way up? Anybody that you kind of looked up to as a fighter?
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather was the first fighter that I already knew about. That was who I watched damn near almost every day. All his 24/7 episodes, all access, everything. That was the first fighter that I ever watched. But like getting like more into the amateurs and nationals and stuff like that, I used to watch guys like Rashid Warren, Erickson Lubin, Shakur Stevenson, a lot of different like other amateurs who I could like imitate that amateur style and still be successful in the amateurs. I used to watch guys like that. So
nice.
And then as far as your amateur career, you've hit, I know you weren't in the Olympics, but you hit one of the pinnacles as far as winning the National Golden Glove. Tell us a little bit about your amateur career.
Yeah, I only have 55 amateur fights. But in the amateurs, like majority of my fights was in the like national tournaments and stuff. So I fought a lot of great talent, a lot of great prospects now, and contenders now that's coming up in the ranks. So my amateur pedigree it wasn't about how many fights I had. It was about the type of the level of competition that I've been going up against that really got me to the point where I'm like, all right, I can turn pro now.
More about quality, kind of like your professional career, right? So far?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so far, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say how's training? I mean, what's your training like every day? You know what I'm saying? What's your regimen every day as far as boxing? As far as getting ready for
You said starting to get ready for camp?
No, yeah. What's your regimen like? I mean, what do you do on a daily basis?
Well, yeah. So in the morning, I get up, eat a breakfast, go to the gym. All right. So let me say on Monday. On Monday, I'll get up, eat breakfast, go to the gym, do strength conditioning, come back home, rest up a little bit, and then go back to the gym, work on my boxing stuff. And depending on how I feel, I might run that day or I might run the next day. So on the Tuesday, same thing, wake up, eat breakfast, go to the gym, spar around like 1, 2, and then go back to the gym. Depending on how I feel, I might run. So that's how my days go. And then I always, put like a little bit of recovery stuff in it, get a massage or something once a week or something like that.
How many days during the week you spar, let's say? How many
I spar 3 times. So every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday I spar. Yeah.
Well, Ray, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for your time. Anything else you'd like to say to your fans in closing?
Just tune in March 2nd on ESPN. It's my first world title, first headliner. We definitely about to go up, and just keep supporting me. And yeah, we about to shock the world.
We wish you the best of luck. And I think you'd be like the 3rd world champion from Jersey. I think Jersey's having a kind of nice resurgence, right? You have Oscar Collazo, who just fought last Saturday. Of course, Shakur,
Yeah.
and yourself. Is there anybody else? Anyone we're missing right now, active?
It's a few like older fighters from back in the day, but we had Jason Sosa as well.
Yeah.
He's from Camden. Well, he's from Puerto Rico, but like I think he moved to Camden, but he was representing like both kind of. But yeah, Jason Sosa.
Yeah.
You got the Buzzsaw. You got Juicy Joe Walcott. It's Marvin Hagler. It's hella fighters from back in the day.
That's right. That's right. People forget. People forget Marvin Hagler's originally from Newark, right?
Yeah.
And then moved out. Yeah. Yeah. Brockton just claimed him, but it's not right.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, Ray, look, man, we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully, we could have you on again as champion, and at some point in person. I mean, when we get our act together, we got a little studio or something.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I appreciate y'all for having me once again.
Definitely.
Take care, brother.
Great having you, man.
All right, thank you.